Let's see if this works. I have no idea if this is gonna work. Hang on. Oh, it looks like it might be working. I have no idea. Oh. See if that works. Okay. We're gonna see if this works. Can y'all hear me? Okay. Is the echo's probably a nightmare. Hi. I hope you guys can hear me. You should let me know if you can. I got a yes. Okay. Hello, Oblivion and Emily and Loki, and Cyber and Ollie. Hello. It is so hard to read chat like this. Wino face cam Xander. Okay. I I wish. This is an iPad. No, we can't hear you. Perfect. Okay. Hi. Hey, social anxiety gremlin. Hope you're well. Um, I'm hey dude, hey Fang. This is weird, by the way, just so everybody knows. I have no idea how if this is still working. I have no way to see my own screen. I have no way to see anything other than what's on my iPad right now, which you guys are seeing, and also I have chat up on my phone. Hi, iPad Kid Streamer. That's literally what this is. Throwback to if any of you remember when this was the only way I could stream art. Throwback to you guys, because you guys are the actual OGs, because this is a nightmare. I hope that the sound isn't like unbearable. I'm also drinking water. I'm also eating food. I'm also like doing my best right now to figure out how to be a person. But I was like, I could stream. I could stream. I'm a real one. You're a real one. It sounds fine, man. Okay. I'm like so anxious about this. I can't see my own screen. I have no control over the visuals other than this. This is so weird. Am I real? You're so real. Okay, I'm just gonna not play music on this stream though, as much as that will drive me crazy, because I can't remove the audio, so I'll get copyright striked. So I'm just gonna not do it. I also am gonna go really quickly check. Okay, so here's how this is working. My parents are out at a game, but they are driving back. when they get too near to the house, I have to end the stream. If I lose track of time and I hear the garage opening, I will not even be saying goodbye. I will just be ending stream and running for the hills, okay? That's how this is gonna work, okay? This is a secret stream. Got it? Can you guys all keep secrets here? This is a secret stream. I need you all to understand that. I'm streaming in secret. I am just on an iPad in my parents' living room because I'm stuck in my old state because this is the best I can do. I also will not be able to tell if chat breaks and if you guys are just not talking or if my chat is broken. I will have no idea how to do that, but I'm going to do my best. This is just a forbidden stream. My laptop is blocked by a mountain of plushies. Oh, good lord. How far is this game? To about 2.5 hours out, but they're already driving back. So I don't know if it's going to be like an hour or if it's going to be like 2 hours or if it's going to be like 45 minutes. So I'm trying to keep a track on them. But as soon as it happens, we all have to run and we're just going to scatter, okay? Why is the stream forbidden? Because I can't have my parents knowing I'm streaming in their house. It feels weird. And also, I'm embarrassed of myself. Secret stream? Yeah, secret stream. Secret stream. I can keep a secret? Good, good, good. Me when I used to stream for my college dorm? Yeah. Why are you even here, actually? / not rude? No, I get it. I get you. Because I just wanted to, admittedly. I have no idea. Sometimes I get hit by this need of, like, I need to be live right now, and I just want to hang out. And so I'm live right now and I'm hanging out. Why is there a hype train incoming? What is happening? BNF, thank you for the, I can see everything. Oh, for the resubscription. Thank you. It is so hard to see notifications like this. So if I miss anything, please tell me in chat. Why are you in this state? I don't know. Oh, for those of you who don't know, you might not have been in my last stream or you haven't heard about it. I'm in this state because I had 2 doctor appointments. My last appointment was just yesterday. I went and checked in with my doctor in terms of my testosterone, got all of my levels checked. They stole my blood. All my labs came in. My testosterone levels are actually low. So I might be discussing with my doctor with upping my testosterone dosages, because I'm actually like pretty far under what they would want from me, which is why my transition kind of moves a little slow. My body just uptakes medicine really well. So, I might be getting my testosterone dosage adjusted, and we checked in with that. And then the other reason I'm in the state is because next week, the day after my birthday, actually, because my birthday is October 11th, which is on Wednesday, I turn 25, and then the next day, October 12th, I will be meeting with my top surgeon for the first time. We have our consultation, so we'll meet each other and kind of talk about the options for surgery and scar shape and nipples or lack of nipples or all of those things, all of the pieces of information. So I'll be meeting my surgeon for the first time, and I'm very, very, very nervous, but I'm hoping it's gonna go well. I am nervous because, from what I know, she has been said to say she has not great bedside manners when it comes to surgeon stuff, which a lot of people have talked about. She's an amazing surgeon, but she's got surgeon brain, and that's super common of like, when she's in like doctor mode, she's in doctor mode, and everything is very cold and very clinical and very straightforward, which I can live with. I can totally deal with that, but she's like not super like sweet and loving and warm, and then like when she's done talking about like surgery stuff, she'll like snap back into like customer servicey, like being kind and stuff. But we'll see. I don't know. I might just be getting overly anxious about everything. I'm also gonna be stuffing my face with food. I'm so fucking hungry. I have no excuse. I just haven't eaten yet today. I'm so hungry. The excuse is that I've got writing brain. I go into doctor mode sometimes. It's kind of bad. Yeah, when you're like hyper focused about something that's super important, a lot of people with the neurodivergencies, and also just a lot of people who get really passionate about subjects, will forget to like be kind about a topic, and they'll just be focused on the topic. So, oh my god, Ollie, how weird and quirky. I am also literally sick to my stomach thinking about my OCs. Guys, if you've been around since last year, you know what's coming. And if you haven't been around since last year, fucking buckle your goddamn shoes. November is on its way. Yeah, November is on the way. And if you don't know what that means, November is NaNoWriMo, which means National Novel Writing Month. It's where me and writers around the world gather together to torture ourselves by trying to write the entire first draft of a 50,000 word novel in 30 days, which is 1,667 words every day for a month. That's a lot of words. That's a lot of effort. It is really, really hard. I've only ever successfully completed it once. So, I'm so overwhelmed. I'm so excited. I have completed NaNoWriMo a total of one time ever in my life. It was actually the first time I ever did it. I was back in college. I'm going to do a little flashback moment. You guys are just going to admire the art here. I'll take off the here. Just admire the art while I talk, because I guess I'm just talking at the moment. But essentially, it was my first ever year doing NaNoWriMo. I was still in college, and I went into it late. I started November 3rd because I didn't really know. I was like, I don't know how to do that. I'm not really sure if I know how. And then October 31st, I was like, I could try, maybe. And so I spent the first 3 days of November trying to just plan it out by, like, picking, like, trying to figure out a plot and a character and ideas for, like, how to write shit. And I started November 3rd, and I wrote like a fiend for 30 days. Actually, I guess only 27 days. But I managed it. I managed 50,000 words. I literally crossed the threshold at like 11:50 on the last night. Like, I barely made it, but I fucking did it. I wrote 50,000 words in 30 days. It was horrifying. I had several mental breakdowns. I had a period of time where I was writing on my laptop in the bathtub crying. I was writing on the kitchen floor. I was going to friends' sleepovers to, like, see my friend, and then, like, staying up until 3 a.m. When everyone else fell asleep, so I could just focus on writing, because I'd be like, yeah, I can hang out with you guys today. Just means I don't get to sleep tonight, because I have to get my words in. The last day of NaNoWriMo, I managed to write, like, 5,000 words to just barely cross the threshold. It was insane. But yeah, so I haven't completed it since, but I also haven't attempted a new story since. My second year of NaNoWriMo, I attempted to do the rewrite of my first year's book, and I tapped out of that. My third year of Nano, I attempted to write the second book in the series, the follow-up of that book. I did not succeed at that either. I did get 15,000 words into the rewrite, which was last year, and then life just got a little too busy, and I tapped out. This year, I'm fucking ready. I'm dedicated. I have been planning to write this book since last year, actually. So last year at NaNoWriMo, I was like, I'm going to do what I did last time. I'm just going to start something brand new and write it, which is what NaNoWriMo is supposed to be. You're supposed to start November 1st with a brand new, fresh idea that you've never started before and write a whole novel, first draft. You're not supposed to rewrite things. You could do sequels, but it's a little different. You're supposed to, like, fresh, brand new idea and pound it out in 30 days. Just to, like, get stuff on paper. It's like a good encouragement. But last year I was like, I'm going to do that. And then I was just like, I have no ideas. I have no concepts. I have no plans. I have no hopes or dreams or interests. So I just decided to try doing the second book of my first book. And again, 15K words in, I gave up. But last year, all I got was like a basic premise. A basic premise for two characters you might have heard of. My boys, Azazel and Zadkiel. These are two of my OCs. This is one of the drawings I have of them. This is not actually the finished drawing. This is the reference image so that I have their proper colors. The actual finished image is this one. These are my boys. These are my children. This is Zadkiel is the angel on the left. Azazel is the redhead on the right. And I came up with these characters. I hadn't even named them back then. It was just the idea of them. And then a couple months ago, I ended up naming them and doing this fan art of them because I wanted to create them into, like, fully fleshed out OCs. So I did that, and I ended up falling in love with them a little bit. I just ended up doing a quick, like a little fanfic about them, like a quick fic about them to share with my friends to kind of be like, oh yeah, here's my characters. Me and my friends were doing like a little writing challenge thing, and so I ended up writing these two. And like 3 days ago, I realized how soon NaNoWriMo is. And I was like, oh, I could write these two. Maybe let me try to start planning them out. I have written 1,800 words, 1,800 words in a planning document for this book. And the more I think about them, the more developed it gets. And I'm like having to be careful to not start writing the book before November 1st, because suddenly I know everything about them. I know their whole lives. I know their stories. I know how they got here. I know where they go. I have this entire book like written in my head suddenly, to the point where like I was messaging Ollie earlier today. I was like sitting on my kitchen floor, like my chest physically hurt, like felt like I was going to be sick because of all of the thoughts in my head of these characters, which means it's a hyperfixation. I'm here. It's physically making me ill. Like I feel sick. Like I'm so excited about these two motherfuckers. Like I'm like sweating. Anyways, this is holy shit. This is a thing. Yeah, you do remember these from the Colorful Void rant. But yeah, I'm gonna art these two. I'm gonna art them so good. I feel like I'm going to throw up. Art them? No, I'm gonna write them. I'm gonna write them so good. I have so many thoughts in my head about writing these pieces of shit. But anyways, I don't know. I'm supposed to also be drawing here, but also like I have like a character sheet for Zadkiel for like I did this for Art Fight. So I did like a character sheet for Zadkiel so people actually knew like what like he actually looked like in like full style, so people could do art of him. He's gorgeous and beautiful and perfect, and I love him more than I love myself. Not Zaddy Daddy. So true. So true. I love him literally so much. So yeah, I'm like slightly ill in the brain with this the brain rot, but I'm doing my best to stay somewhat cognizant. I feel like my stomach is going to throw up. Like I feel like I'm going to puke. I'm so excited about these characters, and I'm trying so hard to be normal right now and like keep my brain focused and not just start like screaming and like chewing on my iPad. Like I am like gripping my hands trying to stay focused and like keep my voice normal. I'm just so excited. But I guess several questions. I have like so many thoughts. Hang on, let me also check on the parents' location. Okay, they're still on the move. I don't know how to at you, but I'm literally sick. I still want to VC later. Yes, I'm glad you guys are getting sick about your own ideas. Let the autism out, dude. Dude, I'm telling you, it's like, it's in my bones. Scared toast, it's in my bones. Like, I'm gonna be ill. I'm so fucking excited about these fucking losers. Ah! But also, like, this is a really good piece of art for, like, what it is. It's a good piece of art. But it's not a character reference sheet. It's way better for Zadkiel than it is Azazel, but I really need to figure out Azazel's actual, like, character design, because, like, this was just something I threw together, but the markings on Azazel's skin are super important to the lore, and I need to figure these bitches out. So, like, I need to actually, like, plan this character. Azazel has so many tattoos. Yeah, it's a massive piece of his story, his lore. Like, these... You guys want a tiny little spoiler? That's not really a spoiler, but it's a little bit of a spoiler. They're not tattoos. I'll tell you that. They ain't tattoos. Anyways. I know how y'all feel sick about stuff like this. Aren't you supposed to be thinking about your characters? Yes, but... Okay, hang on. Let me clarify something. Thinking about your characters is a good thing. It's a fun thing. It's a positive thing. For people with neurodivergencies, though, here's my gentle reminder to everybody, okay? This is like the reminder for people who don't have neurodivergencies or might not know what it feels like. If you've ever had a panic attack, okay? Anxiety is like a 1 or a 2. A panic attack is a 10. They're the same emotion, right? Same feeling. But a panic attack is feeling anxiety at a level 10, whereas having just like being anxious about something is a level 1 or a 2. For people with neurodivergencies, especially autism of any flavor, all of your feelings happens at 9s and 10s. Like, that's why we flap and we spin and we scream and we have emotional breakdowns very easily, is because every emotion is felt at a 9 or a 10. There is no 1s or 2s. So when you're bored, you're so bored that you want to take your skin off and put it through a fucking meat grinder. And when you're happy, you're so happy that your whole body throws itself around the room. And when you're excited, it, like, you are so excited that, like, it causes, like, physical, like, my stomach hurts, my chest feels tight, like, I feel dizzy and overwhelmed because I'm excited. And so, like, I have to stim to regulate my body's emotions. So that's me flapping and, like, spinning around and all of those things. Does that happen with ADHD? I don't feel comfortable saying yes or no to that because admittedly I don't have the research to say yes or no. I know that heightened emotions can be a thing with ADHD, but specifically the feeling of emotions on a level that your body cannot regulate is usually attributed to an autism, what do you call it? Like a autism symptom. Does it mean if you can't regulate your emotions that you're autistic? Not necessarily. Does it mean it's a good indicator that it might be something you're struggling with? Possibly, yes. It's one of those things that, like, you know, it's one of those. It feels like electricity and a shiver in my shoulders where I have to move and talk about it. Yeah, I get that. Sometimes I get so excited I get angry because I'm overwhelmed and I hate liking things so strongly because it makes me feel literally, like it'll literally kill me. Yeah, no, it, like, it's physically painful. Like, it's physically upsetting. Like, no, I 100% get that. I was so happy the other day that I literally ran around the entire house and did flappy hands and threw myself in the bed and jumped around, etc. for 30 minutes. Yeah. I just hate when it's like I have no fixation or attention. It's just, what do I do? Yeah, and that one's really hard because, again, not being interested in something is a normal feeling. But when all of your normal feelings are turned up to a level 11, not feeling interested in something feels like falling into the depths of of depression where nothing interests you and nothing will ever be interesting again, ever. Like, a lot of people with autism will get misdiagnosed with depression when they're between fixations because it feels like you've lost interest in everything you've ever liked. It's also one of those things to, like, you know, halfway to, like having, like, the concept of, like, not borderline, bipolar disorder. Because you can swing between hyper interest in something and being great all the time to losing interest in that thing, losing interest in everything, and now it seems like you're in a depression, and then swinging back up into a manic when you're hyper fixated. But, like, borderline personality disorder or bipolar disorder are both very common misconceptions for autism as well. So, just a thought. OCD, gang, and ADHD. Woo, yeah. Someone with ADHD, we have a very hard time regulating emotions in many forms. It may not always be the exact same, but it can definitely present in other ways. Yeah. In terms of it can present the same way and with similar intensity, again, I don't have the authority to say yes or no that it does or does not do that. If that's the way you experience it, obviously that's the way you experience it. And if that's the same for everyone or not, I genuinely don't know. I am not enough people to know that. I also know that having ADHD makes you 50% more likely to also have symptoms of autism. Whether or not there are enough symptoms to have a diagnosis of it is a different thing, but having symptoms or a diagnosis of ADHD makes you 50% more likely to also have autistic symptoms. And the symptoms are very similar in a lot of things. Like, they cross paths a lot, and they affect each other. My brain is weird in some way. We don't know if it's autism, according to the doctor, some flavor of neurospicy, but we don't know what. Yeah, felt. Oh, hello, Faith. Jesus Christ, I feel like it's been, like, several years since I've seen you around. Hope you're doing well. Why is it that you stop in on an old-ass iPad stream and not any other? You know what? Let it happen. I'm letting it happen. Glad you're doing well, though. Figuring out that stimming existed really helped me with skin picking. It is, because skin picking is just a unhealthy stim. Kind of like head hitting is an unhealthy stim. A lot of forms of self-harm can be unhealthy stims. Yeah. Swinging between the absolute high of hyperfixation, where nothing in your life exists, and you come down from it, and you're depressed and hollow and burnt out as hell. Yep. It's one of the hardest parts of dealing with hyperfixations. Yes. Do you guys ever get so happy that it feels like your body physically cannot handle it? Even with floppy hands, it feels like you need to claw your skin off because the happiness cannot be contained. Yeah. No, it is 100% one of those things. Like, yeah. It's like, it's yeah. It's why we stim. It's because the best way to regulate our body. And honestly, stimming is way too, it's become too generalized now. You need to like listen to your body, because a lot of people go stimming and learn to do flappy hands, but like, and like, it's not necessarily like a learn. It's kind of like an instinct that you lean into, like, oh, it feels like my body wants to do this, and you lean into letting it do it. Give yourself some time to like listen to your body like really really closely when you're in those moments, and do what your body is asking you to do. If it's flappy hands, go with it. If it's like, I need to get up and jump, get up and jump, or spin in a circle, or roll around on the ground, or wrap yourself really tightly in something. As long as it's a safe thing to do with your body, listen to your body. Maybe flappy hands is not what you need right now. Maybe you do need to jump up and down. Maybe you need to scream. Like, it's one of those things that, like, lean into what your body is asking you to do. Your body is really, really good at knowing how to regulate itself. It's just asking you to let it do it. It feels like my heart will stop and I'm going to throw up and I want to punch things out of anger. Anger that the feeling is there and I cannot get rid of it and it hurts so bad. I like to punch the air. Yeah. I do leg kicks and hops and also cat-like noises. Curse of being a cat person. You know what? That's so valid. My body does a lot of different forms of stimming. I do a lot of hand movements. One of my issues is that I have a really bad tendency when it gets really, really bad and like I start like pushing into like stimming to like, because like it doesn't feel like it's enough. I knock on my chest. Like I like you would knock on a door, but I knock on my sternum, and like if it gets like for too long or too aggressive, like it'll start to hurt, and I've had to like find ways to like readjust it elsewhere. I like also do like knocking on my hip bones. I'll knock on my collarbones. Just like I'm like drumming, but on my bones. I'm bone drumming. I don't know. It's just like one of the ways I have found very often is very helpful for me. But it's a stim I gotta be careful with. I struggle to let myself react to things around other people. I feel so stiff and awkward. Yeah, it really is a practice of becoming comfortable doing what you would do in private in front of people and just hoping they don't judge you. You know? I'm just always running around hoping I'm not going to get judged. But also, stimming is beautiful and it's life. I do not know how to draw, so I don't know how I could hope to draw today. All of my friends were like being like, yeah, you could draw your OCs, like, because you're thinking about them, but I can't because drawing is not what's on the brain right now. It's writing. I want to write my OCs, but I can't write on stream. I know no one to judge me. I'm too hyper aware of myself. Yeah, no, that makes sense. I hate stimming in front of people only because sometimes it feels like my brain is like, are you doing it for performance? Are you doing it because somebody's there? It's like, no, I would be doing this if I was alone too, but because somebody's there, now it's a performance and you're putting on an act and you're faking it. You're faking. Like, it's just like, draw a scene maybe. I don't know what I want to draw. I have nothing in my brain. I just like, my brain is just not here. It's just this little, I'm just a little goober. I'm just a goober who's just so hyperfixated on things right now. Like, this is just where my brain is. I just want to think about things. Like, I'm just like, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like, I've got so many thoughts. But like, yeah. I shouldn't be streaming on a day where the tism has just taken over my brain. But it has just fully taken over my brain. This is just me in my brain right now. That is so real. Since we're talking about stimming, I got a new Clacky Scub. I love the Clacky Slugs. Those are so much fun. Ah! Stream when the tism hasn't taken over your brain, for sure. Okay, listen. Out of curiosity, how many of you guys are doing NaNoWriMo? Just in like a curiosity sense. How many of you guys are considering doing the nanos? Arc is a solid no, valid. Anxie is a yes, an enthusiastic yes. Absolutely not. You know, that's also enthusiastic answer, and I completely respect it. I know a lot of people are going to be cheerleaders this year again. We have a role for people who don't know. We do have a role for like nano writers so that we can all get together and write as like a collective practice. But also we have roles for nano cheerleaders, like so that you guys can just be supportive and stuff too, which is fun. I have school and therefore no. That makes sense. Hey, NaNoWriMo to put motivation into my animations. That sounds like a cool way to do it. Interesting. Yeah, and Nano doesn't have to be specifically anything. Like, you can do it to focus on your animations. Just set yourself a goal and work hard on it every single day. The whole point of NaNoWriMo is just to create, what do you call it? Habits. That's the word. It's to create habits. It's supposed to create habits so that you, like, are doing the same thing every single day, because that's how you get better at something. I know it's like, that seems like the most obvious thing anybody could possibly tell you, but it is genuinely what it is. The whole point of NaNoWriMo isn't, well, I guess there's two major points to it. It's not so that you can publish your book. Like, obviously, that is a piece of it. But NaNoWriMo's two main focuses are habits and starting. And, like, the hardest thing you could possibly do is start your book. Like, just sit down and fucking start it. Just start writing. And people get stuck so hard in the beginning. And they get lost as to where to go and what to do and what to try next and all of those little things. I'm just going to stim by drawing circles while I talk. And so one of the things that Nano focuses on is don't write good words. Just write words. Just write them. If we want to talk statistics for a second, because I'm a number loser and I like talking statistics, people like to say that there's this, like, imaginary number that only 10% of people who want to be an author will ever become a published author. And that's not true. The percentage of people is not that little. But here's where the percentages do start talking. And I don't have perfect numbers for you, but the percentage of people who start a book and finish it are so much smaller than the people who finish a book and get it published. That's where that difference lays. If you can manage to just finish the book, beginning to end, right, the whole thing, you are already in a much smaller number of people than people who just want to be published. If you can manage to finish the book, you are statistically more likely to become a full-time or published author. Like, it's in the numbers. Why are you drawing circles? Honestly, it's just, my brain's just doing it. I just decided I'm drawing circles. Also, it's good for art practice because it focuses on keeping your lines steady, connecting your lines. Like, it's good drawing practice. It's consistency practice. And also, it's just what my brain wants to do right now. So it's like one of those things. I didn't even question. I was mesmerized by the circles. Yeah, you guys just get to watch them appear. You guys get to watch the birth of circles. But like, it's if you can just write the book, you are more likely to actually become a published author than if you can't manage to finish it. Which is what Nano pushes us to do. Just finish it. It doesn't have to be good the first time. It doesn't have to be great. It doesn't even have to make any fucking sense. But you wrote it, and you finished it. Which puts you in another category of people. A category of people significantly more likely to succeed. And the other thing that Nano is really good about encouraging and, like, getting people to work on is habit building. If you want to be a writer, you should be writing. It doesn't have to be every day, but practicing it every day is a really good practice to have. Like, unironically, it like, As goofy as it is, if you can manage to do something every single day and build a habit out of it, whether or not you mean to, you will get better at it. You will improve at a skill if you do it. That's just how skills work. If you're going to do it, you're going to improve. If you want to improve faster or within specific techniques, yeah, it's going to take more than just repetition. But the more you do it, the better you get at it. Sounds fishy to me, I don't buy it. Come on now. I spent 5 years with an idea in my head for a story and it's so intricately planned out, and my God, I'm finally going to do it this year. Good. But also, here's something really hard that I learned. Hang on. I'm going to shove some more pasta in my mouth because I'm starving. This is what I get for fucking waiting all day to eat. Hang on. I'm shoving pasta. Whole rainbow. I love rainbows. Okay. Here's the thing. Here's one of the hardest things I think I've ever had to learn as an author, and something I still don't like to accept or admit, but I am fully cognizant of the truth of it, right? Not every idea we have is meant to be a story, and not every story we write is meant to be published. Now, that doesn't mean don't write the story. It means write the story. Please, for the love of God, write the story. You are the only person in the entire universe who can write that story. But not every story is going to be the one. I had this idea for a novel planned out in middle school, and I tried to write that novel for a decade. 10 years. I spent 10 years writing and rewriting, trying to perfect, trying to improve, trying to apply everything I learned to this story that, looking back, I realized, yeah, I wrote it, and I should have just left it, because it wasn't the one. It wasn't going to be my masterpiece. It's not going to be my published novel. It's not going to be the thing that gets me realized. It's not going to be the answer to all my prayers. It was just a story in me that I needed to tell, and it was told, and that was it, and that needed to be the end of it. But I was so certain. I was like, no, I'll make this a publishable novel, and that's just not the way it works. I'm glad you wrote it. It's probably fun to read. It's sure something. I never really finished a true full draft of it. The only full finished draft of this book that I'd written for 10 years is the first draft I ever wrote of it. And I wrote that in middle school, and it's in play format on loose leaf paper. Like, it's a thing. So, like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what my point of all that was. It was just a thought I had of, like, sometimes a story gets so ingrained in us that it stops being something we can tell. Is this the one I read 5 chapters of? Yeah, I think so. Dancing with Demons. I think if that's the one you're referring to. Yes, sir. And, you know, I've always held this story really close to my chest because I don't want people knowing about it, because I was always like, no, one of these days I'm going to tell it. One of these days it'll be my published novel. And I don't think it will. I don't think that book will ever see the light of day. I don't think anyone is ever meant to really read that one. But it's a story I've never told about it. It's a story about a girl who, back in middle school, I named Black Star. And I don't know if I'll ever give her another name, because Black Star has been her name since I was in, like, 3rd grade and first came up with her. And she's just a regular old college art student. Nothing special about her. Entirely, wildly, wickedly ordinary. She, like, writes for, like, a blog or whatever while she's in art college. And then, by some way or another, it changes every time I try to rewrite the story. She meets Lucas, who is, unbeknownst to her, Satan's son. Lucas as in Lucifer, as in, like, he's literally the son of the devil. And it's this story of Lucas's twin brother. Oh, I'm getting a call. I can't answer this right now. Wait, can I? Can I mute myself on here? I don't know if I can. Settings? I might have to just call them back. I will call them back. I'll call them back after stream, because I don't know how to fix that right now. But I will call them after stream. Anyways, yeah, Lucas has to save his brother Alex because his twin brother Alex is being held captive in hell by his father, Satan. And essentially, his life force is being drained to keep his mortal mother alive because their mother is mortal and Satan's in love with her. And so he's using one of her sons to, like, because he's part demon, that he doesn't really die. He's just essentially hooked him up to her to keep her alive for as long as physically possible, which is just, like, keeping Alex in a state of, like, half dead permanently. It's a weird little story, and, like, Blackstar's the only one who can save him because she's got some weird powers, because she's helped Lucas out when she was a kid, and he blessed/cursed her, and it's such a weird, very clearly middle school written story. But, like, yeah, I don't know. It had, like, everything that I loved in it when I was growing up. It had, like, all of the different pieces of tension that I loved and all of the character types, and it was really fun to write when I wrote it. And obviously it's, like, not, like, majorly a part of my life now, but it sure was for a little while. It's an interesting thought, I don't know. I keep trying to finish stories that don't really need to be finished, Cough Warrior Cat stories, and I really need to stop because I have no clue how to end it non-anticlimactically. I mean, there's no reason to not write something. Like, obviously, if you've been stuck on the same story for the past 10 years like I was, and you've gotten nowhere with it, and you're stopping yourself from writing other things because you're still stuck on this, then maybe it's time to loosen the leash a little bit and explore your options. But there's never really a good reason to not just write something. You want to write it? Write it. I feel like writing stories just for myself is the purest form of art. It's so genuine and honest in a way that I can never replicate it, but I tend to share it with the world. I feel like that's kind of beautiful, though, because I get to experience whole world stories and characters that no other person will ever have. You sound like Ollie. You sound that's Ollie. Ollie is the same kind of writer. Writing for yourself is just such a pure and beautiful practice because, yeah, it's just writing for you. It's writing for yourself. I vibe with it. It's like a love letter to old cliches that everyone loved on Wattpad, and it's a really fun time. I mean that genuinely. No, it really is. Did someone say Warrior Cats? Good luck. Hi, was goody. Hello, Toeman. Why do you always show up on, like, the most random stream? First of all, is it just because I'm streaming on my iPad today that both Faith and Toeman show up? Like, people who have not been around in, like, over a year. And y'all are just like, yeah, let me pop in and see how you're doing. And I'm fucking on an iPad right now because, like, I'm not at my computer. It's like, oh, look, your setup has never changed. No, it's, I have an expensive PC, an expensive camera, and an expensive microphone, and you just happen to pop in on the day where I'm on a fucking iPad. Yeah, Faith Monique was here. Wild shit. Yeah, what is up, Toeboy? I really wish I could write for myself again. I'm too insecure, and I feel like I need to prove to myself that I can write, which means that I can't write because I'm too insecure. Yeah. Honestly, I don't feel like there's any good answer or workaround when it comes to feeling like we need to prove ourselves as writers. Like, it's just not something that you can do or should want to do. Proving yourself as a writer isn't really a thing. Like, there is no... I don't know how to explain it. You know what I mean? Like, there's no way to prove that you are a writer. It's just like a piece of who you are. Ollie coming in with the first mod in a hot minute. Ollie's out here modding the chat. Toe, you've been on Twitch for long enough to know better than to fucking put your age down in chat. Come on, brother. Don't put your age in chat. Especially if you're a kid. Learn your internet safety, punk. Otherwise, my mods will eat you alive. I'm just drawing circles, man. My hand is tired of circles. But I don't know what else to do with my life at this moment. I'm just so overwhelmed with thoughts of characters and writing. Oh god, my parents are getting close to my city. No ages, especially if minor / not mad, though, yeah. Minors putting their age on the internet makes me so angry, especially kids like 13 to 15. Yeah, those are the ones that like I genuinely get worried about. You should not ever be advertising that you're like 13 on the internet, but like that's just for me. I'm just saying it's a safety hazard, man. But I also like I was a kid on the internet, so I get it. Anyways, I have circles now. That's a thing I have. Ugh. I'm like trying to like contain the headache that I have given myself from like flailing around with my OCs. Like I have such a bad headache now. Ah! These children are the reason I have mother energy. I feel like proving yourself is too vague. It's such an arbitrary value that you can never truly reach because something you would have considered proving yourself 2 years ago is not satisfying enough. Yeah. That's one of those things. That's one of those things that is you have to set yourself goals. But art can't be measured in most ways. There's not a good way to measure art. Some people might cite things like clicks or views or interaction online. But that's not a way to gauge whether art is good or bad, because that just is how much interaction the art is getting, which is influenced by so many other things. So, like, if somebody posts or if two people post something on AO3 and one person gets, like, 1,000 reads and the other person gets 100,000 reads, the person with 100,000 reads isn't already a better writer. It has literally no, like, hold on how good the writing is. It can be based off of how much time they put into marketing themselves. It could be what fandom it's based on. It could be how long the story is. It could be, what tropes they're put on. It could be the fact that they have an already established fan base that they've written several times before. It could be the fact that one person found it and sent it to a bunch of their friends and it happened to accidentally go viral. Like, there is no way to measure art or improvement except for by your own standards, and that's a hard one to do. I would love to chat and flail around and be excited with you so much. I'd be down to do that. I know the family wants to do a movie night tonight, so I might have to do it after movie night, but I know the family wants me around a little bit because I'm not going to be back in the state until Christmas probably. But I'm going to be so ill. I don't know what I want out of anything right now. I just want to write my characters. Anyways, this is supposed to be a writing talk. Anybody got any writing questions? This is where I start having to like defer to chat to be like, I've gotten so off topic. Anybody who's doing NaNoWriMo or is not doing NaNoWriMo, either one is totally fine. You got any thoughts and or questions about that writing process and or everything else that comes along with all of this? 'Cause like, this is where shit starts getting fun. NaNoWriMo's around the fucking corner, which means it's just about time. There's a fanfic written by a cast member of the SMP, and it's so good, but it's not going to get as many reads because it's a smaller SMP, especially compared to stuff like USMP and Pirates SMP. Yeah, that's just the truth of it. How do you write? Where do the words come from? What do you say or talk about? That's a really funny question because, admittedly, a lot of writers will get genuinely defensive if you ask something like, how do you come up with your ideas? It's something I've heard writers talk about before. If you ask them, how do you come up with your ideas? They'll, laugh at you like you've asked, the most ridiculous question. And I just heard another fucking creator talk about this recently. Because they'll, make fun of you, I went to the fucking candy store and bought them. I don't know, they come out of my brain. But they also, say things like, if you're a writer, ideas just come to you. It is, that you just, there's not a good way to explain it. And it's because the reality is, writers don't know. That's the truth of the answer. You want the truth of the answer? Where do your ideas come from? How do you write? We don't know. We don't know. Sometimes you've got nothing. You've got no ideas and no plans and no hopes and no destination and nothing. And you feel like a fraud for like 9 months. And then one day an idea comes. And it could come from fucking anywhere. Like, anywhere at all. And then you're writing. And like there's nothing you can do about it. And sometimes you've got an idea, but you don't have the passion for it yet. Sometimes you've got the passion, but you don't got all the ideas yet. Like you've asked the big question, and there's not a good answer. Doing my last chapter and I want to die felt. Is it still a fic if I made it? If you made the original content, it's up to you whether or not you call it a fan fiction. That usually means it's written by a fan and it's not actually like canon to the story. Have you listened to the new Lovejoy song? I haven't yet, but I'm excited to. How do you write chapter ones? That's actually funny enough, I have an entire script I've been working on writing to make a video about how to write chapter ones. Because every single writer in the entire world who writes any forms of novels, any type of book that they want published, they will talk about the fact that chapter one, your book, your starter, your opening, is the hardest part of writing. Unironically, it is one of the most difficult things to do. And it's where so many people get stuck, either in the writing stage or in the editing stage where they're going back into it and trying to perfect it and all that shit. Like, it feels like a near impossible task. And there's a billion good ways to do it, and there's 3 times as many bad ways to do it. And, like, it's really difficult to give, like, good, genuine advice on it because no advice is going to fit every story, you know? Like, some advice is going to be really good for some people's way of working, and some advice is not going to help people at all. Now, there are some things that script, like a YouTube video, like a full YouTube video script I'm writing, like a whole thing, because I'm fascinated by chapter ones. I'm fascinated by the opening of a story. I have so many books that I have written the opening for it again and again and again, and it never hits right. Like, and there are some books that have amazing openers, and some books that just blow at it. So, like, I will bring that topic up more when I actually get into the video of it, because, like I said, I have, like, a whole script I want to work on talking about chapter ones. But to give you at least some sort of answer before I float on to some other questions in general, when you are writing your first draft, specifically just your first draft, it doesn't matter. And I mean that unironically, because when you write your first draft, your first chapter will be the thing you do not keep. You will not keep your first chapter, almost guaranteed. Because by the time you finish your book, you will look back at chapter 1 and realize all the things you were missing, or the promises you didn't put in place, or the foreshadowings you could have done, and it will change. When you are writing for the first time, just put the words on the paper, let go of your chapter 1, and move the fuck on. And if you're stuck as in like, oh man, I can't start writing, I can't start NaNoWriMo, I'm failing at my words already, I can't start this book because I don't know how to open it. Wherever you were trying to think of, don't start there. Find the place you are most interested about writing your character and start there instead. If you were going to be like, oh, I don't know how to write my character, like getting up and showing off their world and world building and telling people about the setting, don't write it. Don't write it then. If you don't know how to write it, don't write it. Move on from it for now. Skip that piece. It's literally just leave it out entirely. Jump me right into whatever you want to be telling me about your character. Like, it's as weird as it is, it's a good way to do it. Like, there are things you should avoid with your character or your book. Stuff that will immediately point out that you're a childish or young author that is inexperienced in craft, right? Do not start your book with an alarm clock going off under almost any circumstances. There are some circumstances where maybe you can get away with it. But do not start your book with an alarm clock going off. Don't start your book with waking up and, getting ready for school and a whole montage of your character getting dressed in the mirror and like, talking to themselves like, oh man, I slip into this item and this item of clothing, and I look in the mirror at these facial features, and no, don't write it. I don't want to read it. You don't want to write it. Move on from it. Like, don't start with a dream sequence unless, again, there are certain circumstances where it'll work. But, like, having, like, a really high stakes, intense thing, and then I woke up and had to go back to my normal life. No, don't write it. Don't do it. It's not good. Like, toss me into your character's life. Not just in, like, the most basic, boring, like, concept of, you know, here's this thing, and you know, here's how they brush their teeth in the morning, and when I look in the mirror, I see all my flaws. Like, no, it's amateurish writing. And the other thing I want to say about all of this is these are all pieces of advice. And at the end of the day, when you're writing, it's your book, it's your writing, and you should always err on the side of what do you want to write. If I'm telling you, starting your book with an alarm clock going off is the worst idea and it'll be terrible for your book, and you go, yeah, but I really want to do it, then do it. That's like the most important piece of writing advice you could possibly get. It's your fucking book. Anyways. What is the next thing? How do you kill a character? Great question. Kill them. I'm going to actually answer your question by not answering your question. Here's what I mean by that. Also, hang on, let me read the responses to the starting a stream thing. Ever start things in the middle of a fucking battle scene? Good way to do it. Ollie would tell you it's called in media res, I believe. I didn't have a super hard time with mine, but it really depends on the story and the tone. Yeah, well, it's because you started the way that I think is really well. You dropped me into the middle of a character's everyday life, but the everyday life was something I was immediately interested in. Your beginning to your story, Emily, is actually very similar personally to the beginning of Ad Astra to me, which is something I'm going to go in depth on in the script that I'm writing. But it's the concept of if you're dropping me into your character start of your day and it's something I already know, like getting ready for school, I'm bored. I don't give a fuck. I don't want to read about it. I just don't. But if you drop me into the middle of your character's everyday life to set the tone for me, and yours is walking through a wasteland of a corrupted world, or fixing the engine of a spaceship hurtling through the cosmos. Like, this is not my normal everyday average time a day. This is not what I'm used to. This is different to me. I'm interested. I'm learning about your character. You're setting tone for me. It's good. It's a good opening. Killing characters. I'm gonna answer your question by not answering your question. There's a difference between two different things. Killing and fridging. Fridging is the thing you do not want to do to your characters. Please, for the love of God, do not fridge your character. Now, you ask, Xander, what the fuck is fridging a character, and why is my character in the refrigerator, and what do you have against it? Well, fridging is a specific trope reference. I don't know what you would call it. It's a writing thing. Where characters are killed off unceremoniously to further the plot of our quote-unquote more important main character, right? It was originally coined from an old comic story where the main character's wife was murdered and shoved, like, her body stuffed in a fridge for the main character to later find, okay? That's why it's referred to fridging your character. Now, fridging a character, as in killing off a side character specifically to, motivate the main character, is not just like a trope. It's a bad trope. It's not like hard to use or hard to do right. It's a bad trope. It's a trope that shouldn't be written, especially if the person you're killing off to like motivate your character is a woman. Just don't do it. Like just don't do that. That's not the point of these characters. Anxie immediately saying it's always the women characters. Dead ass. Do not go fridging your characters by, I need to motivate the main character somehow. How shall I do it? I'm going to take his romantic love interest, whose only point in the story is to be my love interest, and then I'm going to murder her in front of him, and that's going to send him on his story arc. No. You have fridged a character. And here's the best way to tell if you're fridging a character or not. Specific reference here to Overly Sarcastic Productions, she has an entire video on fridging and how to avoid it in your writing and what it is and what it means, so shout out to her. Amazing YouTube video, go watch it if you want to. But she specifically references the sexy lamp theory, which if you don't know what sexy lamp theory is, which is fantastic, sexy lamp theory is if you could replace your character with a sexy lamp, like a, one of those like fancy lamp shades with like a leg that has like fishnets on it, but it's a lamp. If you could replace a character with a sexy leg, or a sexy lamp, then you don't really have a fully fleshed out character. If this is just like a thing that your character loves and enjoys and is attracted to and serves no real purpose in the story, you've got an issue. You need to flesh out your female characters more, okay? But taking that a step further is the prized possession theory, which is how you can tell whether or not you're fridging your character. If your character is killed off and it motivates your main character to go do something, attempt to replace the character with a prized possession and see if it reads the same way. And she uses the example of your prized Pokemon card collection, but it could be anything. Your mother's vase, the car that your granddad passed down to you. If your main character, like, instead of witnessing his wife being murdered brutally or finding her body in the fridge, instead came home to find his most prized possession shattered on the ground, and it would motivate him the same amount, and the story would go the same way if that death was just the destruction of property, you have fridged your character. You need to rethink everything. Because that means what you have done is you created a character whose only purpose was to be high-value property to die off and motivate your character. Bad writing. That's how you don't kill off a character. Because the fact is, a side character, despite it being a side character, is a full person. In the context of the story, in internal logic, this is a whole human being. It's not just someone who dies and motivates our main character to go do something. This is a whole person whose entire life and everything they ever wanted and everything they ever hoped for and all of their dreams and their love and the potential for the rest of their life has been snuffed out. And if you could do the same thing by smashing a vase on the ground, you do not have a fully written character. That's what's so important about it. Like, it's such, yeah. Murder seems to be used for shock value rather than anything impactful. Entirely true. Yeah. It's one of those things that if you can replace your female character with a prized possession, and this goes for every plot, all of them. You could apply this to every plot. If it's a damsel in distress plot, and you could replace the fact that he has to go save the love of his life with the fact that he's trying to go save his expensive watch, and it's the same story, you've fucking done it again. The women are not objects in your books. They are people. And it's not just women. It's just majoritarily women. But just in general, your side characters are not objects to further your main character's plot. They can further the main character's plot, but they are not just objects at your disposal to throw plot situations at them. That's how you kill a character well, is avoiding that shit. And it's also how you write good side characters. I need to put some pasta in my mouth. What do you guys think about all that? I'm doing a lot of ranting. Yes, you can give me a scenario. Anyways, good tip, good practice. Run through your book and check off each of your characters and see if you could replace them with a prized possession. If the female sidekick to the character could be replaced by, like, a sword, and it would serve the same purpose, as in it makes your character a little bit stronger and sometimes encourages him, you don't have a character, you have an object. I think one of the best things you can do in a first chapter is make your main character make an interesting decision. The best book opening I've ever read was the protagonist abandoning his daughter, who he clearly loves, with a complete stranger, and I kept reading it because I desperately wanted to know why. That is an amazing way to open a book. I'm already interested. I grow so attached to my side characters. Good. Vanna could be a sword. Vanna the sexy lamp. See, and that it's a really good check to do. I obviously don't believe that is the case for your story, at least from everything I know of it. But, like, if your character isn't making any genuine, impactful choices on the story and could just be an object, like, it's just, I don't know, man. Just something to check in with. Can you have multiple main characters? Yeah, totally. Deuteragamists are super common. Deuteragamists being dual protagonists. You can have multiple protagonists for sure. Now, you just have to remember, a protagonist plays a very specific role in a story, and, you know, there's a very certain amount of intent and choice and dedication that needs to go into developing a main character. But you can totally do it. You just have to put in all the effort to make both of these fully fleshed out main characters and not a main character and a side character, which is also totally okay. Or a main character and a love interest, which is also totally okay. A character, MC, is objectively a bad person. Their friends leave. Their friends B, C, and D finally get sick of them and leave, which motivates character A to be a better person so that they'll be much better when they find character B, C, and D again. Okay, well, it's not fridging, because fridging is killing off your character in a bad way, but I get what you're asking. So, main character is objectively a bad person. Their friends leave and get sick of them, get sick of them and leave, which motivates the character to be a better person, so they'll be better when they find characters B, C, and D again. No, I mean, as long as your B, C, and D characters have motivations and reasons that they're doing the things that they're doing, like the reasons that they're leaving, like, it's a little bit different. As long as, like I said, like, those characters have, like, choices that they're making. Like, they have, like, opinions on the world going on around them, then it's you're not, you know, just using them to motivate the main character. Like, if they're protecting their own, you know, their own brains by choosing to leave MC because MC is, you know, not good for them, then yeah, like, they're making an active choice, and they're making the choice to leave the main character, which does motivate the main character to possibly improve life. So, like, that's, like, I can see where the context of maybe this is just being used as a way to develop a character, that does make sense. But at the very least, like, if they have their reasons and they have their reasoning, and, you know, maybe main character does all the right things to improve, and A and B forgive them and D doesn't, and says, you know, I don't really care that you've changed. I'm not interested in, you know, still being your friend. Like, letting them make those choices and not just like, oh, MC gets the prize of their friends back because they went through the task and now they're good people. You know what I mean? I hope that kind of makes sense. Realizing I could keep my character Zara's daughter alive. I mean, burning the village would be enough to make her angry at the Rose, and I could have a silly little fox, demi-human rebel soldier. Absolutely. Totally could. Don't necessarily gotta kill off the kids. Yeah. And Ollie's got the right idea, yeah. As long as the only role that these people play is just a friend to the main character, as long as they have other roles in their actual lives, that's not really a fridge. Like, if people have their own opinions and motivations and thoughts and hopes and stuff, that starts edging out of sexy lamp theory, you know? There's extra pieces to it. It starts to kind of build. It's kind of hard to describe. I wrote Zara's story when I was like in 6th grade, so that makes sense, yeah. I love looking back at like middle school writing. It's like one of the things that brings me joy. It's just like, oh man, it's been so long since I wrote that thing, and I like cringe at it a little bit, but also it's kind of cute. I don't know what I'm drawing right now. This hand is vastly disproportionate. What is happening here? I feel like I don't know what I did wrong here. I have no idea. I don't know. I just drew a hand and it looks like ass. There's nothing wrong with a character's death motivating a character as long as it's actually a character who died, not a sexy lamp. Yeah. I think a really good way to analyze whether or not the character dying off is justified or fridging. Oh, hang on. Oh god, my mother's calling me. Hang on. Hello?
Hey.
What's up?
Sorry, we're just having a call
Oh, sweet. I want... Can I do the...
Or you have like 9 minutes and you need to think about it and text me.
Yeah, can I text you?
Okay, just so you don't have, just so you have 5 minutes, not 9.
I can text you right away, but it's easier to type.
Alright, love you, bye.
Love you, bye. Haha, I've tricked you. It's not that it's easier to type, it's that I am currently live. Can you guys still hear me okay? I hope that I didn't break anything. I have to text my mother. I have to text, hang on, I'm sorry. Okay, keep yourselves interested for a second. I have to give her my order because they ordered dinner. Okay. Can you guys still hear me? Everything? Did I break anything? Xander eating good? Yeah, I was like, I just finished my food, man. Can we dance? Yeah, sure. Okay. But it does look like they'll be getting home pretty soon. So I'm eating too much food today. Let me check the map. Oh, holy shit. Okay. Yeah, it looks like they're picking up food like right now. Fuck. I'm nervous. I'll talk for like 5 more minutes. Maybe. But, this is really fun. This is so good. I want to do more streams like this. I want to do more writing talks and stuff because this is the kind of stuff that I love. And I've gotten like a little insecure about doing them, but doing a stream like this feels like I can prove that like I know how to talk. I can just sit and talk with you guys, and there's like nothing going on the screen right now, but you're here, and that means enough to me. So sometimes it's good to just like reset my brain and just be like, oh yeah, fucking people enjoy being here sometimes. How wild. But yeah, I wonder. Hang on, I wonder if this would work. If this breaks anything, just hear me out, okay? Just hang on. Let me see if this breaks anything. Did this break anything? I don't know if it did. Did it break? Is it broken? Are we broken? Can you see me? Did it work? Hi! Did it work? Does that mean it works? I just like pulled up my camera to see if it worked. Does it? I hope this is the worst like lighting I have ever. Hello? Oh, that's worse. Okay, we're just gonna live with this. Hi. Hi. I hope this is not like the weirdest thing ever. But I thought I'd switch to this so I can say bye to you guys. I have no idea how this is working, but we're making it work. We're making it happen. Perfect, sexy, thank you. Okay. Hi. Anyways, I have to go because my family's on the way and this was our secret stream, so we're going to scatter to the winds. I can't raid from here because I have no idea how and I'm not gonna try, so I'm just gonna let you guys go into the wind and scatter everything. Keep our little stream a secret. I'll pop in and out of the Discord for the rest of the day. I just realized I need to shave all of this. I need to shave all of this is what I need to shave. Anyways, I'll be scattering you guys to the wind. Be good. I'll be in the Discord later. No, don't text my mom, please. But yeah, I just this was super fun. I had a really good time doing this, like unironically, and I hope you guys also had a good time. We're gonna do more streams like this when I get home. Don't you fret. But I also turned 25. I turned 25 in. What is it, 4 days? I turned 25 in 4 days, so I'm like super excited. So I'm just gonna go enjoy my birthday. I will probably do another stream like this, either on Discord or on here on my birthday. If I can, I'm gonna do my best. I probably will be able to as long as I don't work that day, but I might work that day, so we will see. Otherwise, I will see you guys when I get back. But yeah, thanks for having fun with me. I'm gonna figure out how the fuck to end this stream, and then I'm gonna send you guys off into the ether. Scatter! Scatter! Birthday subathon? Not this year. We're not doing a subathon this year, but we'll do some fun shit. But okay, let me figure out how to end this shit. Hut. Oh wait, look, I could raid. Hey, let's go raid Octo. Let's go raid Octo. I'm loading up the raid. I think I know. Yeah, oh, sweet. Okay, everybody get in there. We're raiding Octo. I'm scattering you to him. Be good. I love you guys. Thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting me. Thank you for talking and all that shit. And I will see you guys soon. Okay, goodbye. Controlled scatter. Controlled. Goodbye. I think that worked. We'll see if that worked. Brilliant.